Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to the Scrapfive Challenge, where we will be using a recipe to complete our layouts. And today's recipe is use something you've had for a long time and haven't even opened yet. Scrap a minimum of 3 photos. Find a sticker book and use as many as you can. Sequins and paint. And it's also Baby Got Scraps, where we use only one 12 by 12 piece of paper and the rest is smaller and scraps. And these are the photos I'm going to scrap today. There are 4 instead of 3, so one thing down. And then use something that you've had forever and haven't used yet. And so I'm going to end up using the Heidi Swap. I pulled both of them because I couldn't make up my mind, but I will be using the Heidi Swap one. There's my sticker book. So that's another thing down. And, oh, I'm showing all the scraps now that I pulled out. Plus, of course, the 6 by 8 paper pad, which you are allowed to use because it is smaller than 12 by 12. And this collection is Simple Stories Weathered Garden. So it is a lot of greens, which I love, and shades thereof. And then also a little bit of yellow and some blue and gray. The background paper, though, is $49 in market from Curator's Metal because it's a heavier piece of paper, and one of the things we had to use was paint. So the paint I'm using is chalk paint, and it is Spanish moss. I painted squares, 9 of them, for a grid, and also I added water to the same color. I still had plenty on my brush, so I could add some splatters. The stencil I'm using is Crafter's Workshop. It's called Reverse Chicken Wire. So it is going to show the actual chicken wire instead of the spaces between. And I'm putting circles on there, and I'm going to put the larger one in blue and the smaller one in mustard seed because those colors are also in the collection. I am using Stampin' Up! Crosshatch, crosshatch stamp. And I am doing it in vintage photo to add a little bit of brown to the layout. I'm going to map my photos, but instead of using my paper trimmer, as I usually do, I am just going to cut them by hand and not worry how straight my lines are at all. But they end up straighter than I would have thought. And I'm going to map them each in a different color, well, pattern. They're patterns. I'm going to mount them each in a different pattern. Since I have only 4 photos and 9 squares, that leaves me 5 to really embellish on and throw those stickers on there. And I do put quite a few on here. I'm going to use quite a few of the scraps. Actually, some of the same papers that I used to mat the photos to do some extra layering behind the photos. And I'm inking everything in either. I'm going to use 2 colors, and some of them I'm going to put both colors on. Stormy Sky and, let's see, Forest, Rustic Forest, that's what it is. I do notice that I have more than one little baggie of embellishments, so I dumped them all together in that tray you see over at the side. However, after I start using them, I realize that some belong in a 49 and market collection instead of this one, and I will try not to use them. I'm going to put them back where they belong. I don't know how I probably did 2 layouts in a row because they had to be done. I procrastinated or something, and I probably didn't put one up ahead of the other one. I try to put them up when I take the photos, but every now and then I'm pressed for time just because of the procrastination thing. Yeah, sometimes I think way too long on what I want to do on a layout before I physically get started on it. The flowers in this collection are white, and a lot of the time I go ahead and put some chalk on them to get them a different color. But if you notice on the photos, all the kids have different colors on, so I couldn't make up my mind which color, so I went ahead and left it white, all of them. Um, the photos are of three of my grandkids, and one, and the other one, the little blonde one, is my nephew. And we were at Big Springs, and I was taking their photo, and they were pretty good for a while, posing for me to get photos. But then, like all kids, I get tired of Mamarazzi, as they call me. They got that from a couple of the older grandkids. I wanted to put one of those little banner looking things, layer banner looking things, in the middle there with my title, which, I said I used Tidy Swap, so it's Family Love. So my title had to come along with something from that. Well, I thought Family Love wasn't enough. So I was looking in there to see what else I could use. And the banner, it was too long to fit in that spot. So I do cut it off just a little bit to make it fit a little bit better. And it's now Family Love right here. And it worked. It's a little bit longer title and it works for me. Even though I thought of a couple of other things, I had to use the old Heidi Swap. And that is 2013. They were getting kind of brittle. I had to the word love was broken three places. Well, and it was my fault when I pulled them up. I just broke them, but they're glued down now. They most certainly did not get better with time. Um, but I do like the handwriting on them. I think it's Heidi Swap's handwriting. And I did have several packages of all kinds of those of hers. And I have used them over the years, but I was like, really wanting them bad when I first seen them. And so I got several. And most of them were more colorful than this set. Most weren't just plain black. I am not putting any of my photos on foam tape, although I usually do, but I decided that I would reserve that for some of the embellishments instead. And I'm kind of putting my photos off center. I didn't use like the whole square area when I painted. I just wanted it to kind of peek out, and I didn't want it to look perfect. And of course, I wasn't sure where I was going to put the photos when I was doing it, but I wanted a little bit of variety in the brush strokes. And so some of that determines where my photo's going to set on that square. The flowers that I'm putting on now, the largest part of the flower is from an EK Success punch, and then the smaller one is one of those hand punches, like, I've had forever and ever, but they were already punched out and in a little baggie. So I will be inking them because they're more on the white side. The other side is much, much darker, and that's the side that I'm mostly using for the centers. In the edges in the green color. I um, got this one piece, and it says, I think that one says the best ever. And, the kids say the best ever day a lot, even though the next time it can be the best ever again. But it's the best ever at the moment. And they had lots and lots of fun that day. And this is something available in almost all of the collections, so I might as well use it. Yeah, that phrase is like all through this collection, so I got to be careful that I don't use it more than once on each layout. You know how it is. You look at that sticker and you think, oh, that's cute. You put it on there. Well, I have done it anyway. And then you think another one is too. And once you get it on your layout, you think, oh, I got two saying the best ever. I need to put one back and get something else. But while I'm adding bits and pieces here and cutting the white off of my stickers from the sticker book, I want to mention that down there below, you will find links to everybody that is doing the Scrapfive challenge. And if you'd like to do it, make sure you use hashtag Scrapfive on Instagram if you post it on Instagram so we can see what you created with the same list of 5. And it's hosted by Becky, who is My Creative Life here on YouTube. And it is also Baby Got Scraps for the whole month of January. So the thing with the Baby Got Scraps is you can use one 12 by 12 paper, which I have in the background, that 49 and Market one. And it is great for mixed media. I did not even put gesso on here. And then anything else has to be from a smaller paper pad. Well, yeah, I don't think, well, there are a few that make sheets in packages that are smaller because I've gotten them over the years. But it can be a smaller paper pad or your scraps. So I am using both on this layout. Well, actually, I think my 6x8 paper pad is in scraps also. So I am using all scraps on this layout. It's hosted by Kristen, who is Kristen Crafts here on YouTube. And we've been doing it every year. I think this is the third year. I didn't do it very much last year, but I did it every day the year before. Does that make any difference? I was more prepared for that one than I was this year's or last year's. But I did save scraps the last month or so. And then I went through collections to dig out some scraps, like the black and the white and the red. Those three I leave in there a lot, and sometimes another odd color or two because it goes so well with that collection. But when it comes to Baby Got Scraps, I will dig it out and see what I have got. Doing that, I did notice that it was mostly simple stories that I had those extra pieces of scrap in. Mostly because I do layouts that needed a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And which is handy for Baby Got Scraps. I am using, oh, I guess I could go through the list again. Um, Use something you've had for a long time and haven't even opened yet, which is my Heidi Swap titles. Scrap a minimum of 3 photos. I have 4. Find a sticker book and use as many as you can. Well, I've used quite a few on here, although a few I backed in cardstock before I used it so I could put on foam tape. Sequins, which I am using right now. And also paint. Yeah, I have paint in the background. So I've got all the list of 5 on here, and I think they all went pretty good together. Um, I had a lot of fun doing it, I know. But yeah, I've got a pretty much monochromatic layout in my favorite color and a list of 5. And I created a grid layout, which I haven't done in a while. I really like doing them, so I don't know why I haven't done it in a while. But the reason I picked it was because of the 4 photos. I had them like laying on a 12 by 12 piece of paper, not this one because I was just trying to figure out what I was going to use. And I tried a banner like thing with them hanging from the banner with all kinds of stuff clustered in there. And I just didn't seem to fit. And still get all this stuff clustered in there and use as many stickers as you can. And then it happened to hit my mind about the grid layout. So it worked out pretty good where I could do, 9 clusters basically and put as many sticker book stickers on there as I could. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I tore one of those stickers completely in half behind Ricky's photo, the one down the bottom left. And, and so I tore it in half again after I put it back together and put part at the top and part at the bottom. But it ended up working. You really can't tell looking at it that it is torn down the middle. It just layered back perfectly. But that's it. That's my layout. And I do have more photos than usual because I wanted to show each one of the little clusters in the close-ups. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And of course, if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. But yeah, there's my layout, and there's the Choose Be Happy. And that one I did add foam tape underneath it so it'd pop up because I knew I wasn't going to put much around it. And there's my title, and you can't even tell that the love is in three pieces, can you? I don't think so. I don't think anybody looking at my album will. They won't look that close. Oh, it looks like I got two clusters in this one. I must not have noticed. There's that one separately though. But I hope y'all have a happy scrappy week. Have fun checking out the Scrapfive, and make sure if you make your own layout with the list, hashtag Scrapfive on Instagram. And also, Baby Got Scraps. Make sure you check theirs out and see what they did with their scraps. But yeah, again, have a happy scrappy week and have fun. Bye.